Nevcol.
Nefarious 2. Judge and Executioner. Part 2.
Flat white, please, love. Oh, excuse me.
You what, mate?
I was standing here. You nearly knocked me over.
You should get out of the way, then.
Typical Britain these days, packed to the gills with scum.
Hey, who you calling scum, mate?
Thanks, love.
I said, who you calling scum, mate? Yeah, that's it, mate. Keep walking, before I punch your little head in.
Morning, Lizzie. Come in. I am DCI Laura Tate, and I work with the IOPC. Thanks for making yourself available for interview so quickly. At this stage, we are here merely to establish the facts of case, as you remember them. The question of responsibility will come later. I hope that's clear.
Yes.
Right. On 17th of October 2006, you were present at the arrest of Mr. Zachariah Baines. Is that correct?
If that's what it says in the arrest record and custody log, then I must have been.
Were you or were you not present?
Did you arrest anyone on the 17th of October 2006?
The arrest record shows you accompanying D.I. Ray Burrell on the arrest.
Oh, then I must have been. Desk sergeant at Bethnal Green always did keep excellent records.
This is a very serious matter. I advise you to take it seriously. Mr. Baines has alleged that, at the time, Bethnal Green CID were under great pressure to a number of high-profile cases.
Well, that's correct. But it was always like that there.
There was a security van raid that happened around the same time, occupying the CID's time. Mr. Baines was named as a suspect in the files. Did you question him?
No. I remember that investigation being ongoing when I was made up to Detective Sergeant, but I wasn't involved.
Mr. Baines alleges he'd had dealings with Bethnal Green CID on that occasion, and that D.I. Burrell had used racial epithets at his arrest and interview. Is that true?
Not that I ever heard.
And furthermore, that D.I. Burrell had indeed arrested him spuriously for anything likely that came across his desk, simply because he was black and had a record. Did you ever see anything like that?
No, I didn't.
You hear nothing. See nothing. You might have been better becoming a nun than a police officer if you wanted to take a vow of silence.
Excuse me, Laura. I'm not hearing my name anywhere in all this. You're asking me questions about a detective inspector I haven't seen in over 15 years. About an arrest that happened 18 years ago. What do you want from me?
To help me establish the CID culture at Bethnal Green at the time, and the background to Mr. Baines' arrest at...
A background which I had nothing to do with. I was only made up to Detective Sergeant in October '06. The incident in Weaver's Field occurred on the 15th of September '06, according to a copy of the file I was sent. So it would have been the skipper before me who investigated the initial murder and sat in on the interviews.
And the viability of the corruption allegations against the investigating CID team. You were present when he was arrested for the final time on the 17th of October, and his flat was searched.
Yes, I went on that one with D.I. Burrell. We span his drum. It was strictly kosher. Thankfully, most criminals are just bloody stupid, meaning they leave the evidence for us to find.
And that day was the only occasion you encountered Zachariah Baines?
Yes, he was charged that day, so I wouldn't have seen him again. I wasn't called to give evidence at the trial because I wasn't really involved in the investigation. Oh, look, what exactly am I being accused of?
Counsel for the defence have alleged that detectives planted a machete in Mr. Zachariah Baines's flat during the commission of that search on the 17th of October 2006.
Well, they didn't that I'm aware of.
And can you tell me with certainty that D.I. Burrell never interfered with the chain of evidence or put Mr. Zachariah Baines under undue stress?
As far as I'm aware, while I worked with him, D.I. Burrell was a by-the-book, old-fashioned copper.
And if you had seen something corrupt taking place?
Well, I'd have reported it to the Chief Inspector. But I didn't, because believe it or not, even 18 years ago, we had ethics.
I should warn you that leave to appeal has been granted to Mr. Zachariah Baines.
Say his name 3 times in the mirror and the Candyman might appear.
And this means we at the IOPC will be investigating the conduct of every office on that case. Heads will roll and pensions will be lost.
Well, it's a shame Ray Burrell is too dead to defend himself then, isn't it?
We're not just looking at D.I. Burrell. Bear that in mind. You'll make yourself available to me for interviews as needed. I'll be in touch.
This is the MIT floor. You understand that everything you see in here, in this office, is confidential.
Of course, my lips are sealed. I must admit, I was very intrigued when I got Detective Sergeant Gale's call.
Well, here it all is. We'd like you to look particularly at these.
Wow, okay. That's a lot of information. I see.
Well?
It's not great scholarship, but it's competent. It's accurate. Metanoio means I'm sorry, I regret. In biblical Greek, it would suggest the notion of the sinner repenting. Acadia means sorrow. It was regarded by the agents similarly to how the Catholic Church considers despair to be a mortal sin.
Would this take a high level of Greek to write this?
No, not really. Anyone with a dictionary could write it. They'd have to have a working knowledge of the Greek alphabet. These characters are well formed and clear to read.
Hi, Doc Hannah.
I wondered if I might bump into you, Alan. Kirsty here was just showing me the ropes.
What do you think?
Superficially impressive, lacking substance. Beta minus. The Greek writing, not Kirsty.
Here, have a look at this. I think those are Greek letters.
Hard to make out. Where was this?
Another crime scene. That one had been there a while before we found him. Decomp had well and truly set in. I thought those just might be Greek letters.
Well, don't hold me to it, but if we're working along the lines of Acadia, that word might be kenodoxia.
What is keno?
It means boastful, the flaunting of one's wealth or good fortune.
The governor is going to love this.
Why?
A pattern makes it more likely that we've got a signature killer.
And is that the same as a serial killer?
The gov really doesn't want one of those. Speak of the devil.
Taking my name in vain again, Kirsty. But you are on time today, so I'll take that.
Gov, this is Dr. Hannah Wright.
Pleased to meet you.
I was just saying the Greek is not especially advanced, but you would have to have a knowledge of the classical world and where to look to find this stuff. It's not academically significant, though.
So what do you make of this?
Now in Charon's blood I paint, don't mistake this for a feint. The shoots of spring can never hatch without the winter's soft dispatch. Rhadamanthus. Well, the easy bit is Rhadamanthus. He is a legendary Cretan king of ancient times, son of Zeus and husband to Ariadne, daughter of Minos. The bit I suspect you'll be interested in, though, is that he was a famous legislator in life and became one of 3 judges in the underworld upon death. I'm no criminologist, but could the person who wrote the riddle see themselves as the reincarnation of Rhadamanthus?
Oh, so it is a riddle then.
In the very loosest sense.
Is it from something?
I don't recognise the translation or the text, and I know most of them. It's a Greek-style riddle. Charon was the ferryman to the underworld. He relates to your taxi driver. It's his blood. The rest of it you can interpret 100 different ways. Maybe your suspect's Greek wasn't good enough to compose this in Greek?
Well, thank you for coming in, Dr. Wright. Can we call on you again if we get any more?
Of course.
Kirsty, can you show Dr. Wright downstairs?
What the...
You should have got out of the way.
You wanker!
Fucking bastard.
Morning, everyone. Quieten down. I went to the PM of Giorgio Demetriou yesterday. I've also had Professor Davidson examine the body of Jeremy Murdoch, our first victim. We can now say that both died as a result of stab wounds, and the weapon is a 99% match in both cases. Long, thin blade, delivered with great ferocity. Angle of blade entry and trauma to the bone in both cases tells us that it was most likely delivered by the same person.
Are we looking for a serial killer, Mum?
Well, not yet. Well, not officially.
That needs 3 bodies, and we've only got 2.
Oh, yes, I forgot. You did the profiling course. What do we have that links the 2 cases? Alan, have you looked into that yet?
Yes, Mom. Absolutely nothing. Jeremy Murdoch and Giorgio Demetriou mixed in completely different social strata. One was an advertising consultant in Soho, and one was a taxi driver. I've been through back records, social media, where it exists, and phone contacts. I can find no point at which their lives intersected. They didn't even belong to the same gym. And no, Jeremy Murdoch never took a ride in Demetriou's cab, as far as we can tell.
Oh, so they must have separately overlapped with our killer. Did you trace the last fare Demetriou picked up?
Couldn't, Mom. The meter shows it was running up to half an hour before TOD, but it was hail and go job, not a pre-booked.
CCTV or dashcam?
Negative, Mom. CCTV round there is all vandalised by ULEZ warriors, and no dashcam in the car. Car park cameras are also out of action.
Prints?
Nothing doing either, Mum. Forensics went over that cab with a fine-tooth comb. Only Demetriou's in the front, loads of DNA and prints in the back, but nothing to indicate which might belong to our killer.
And what about the ANPR cameras on the main roads in the area?
Council is sending over the footage today, at the latest.
OK, we'll be there right away. Yes. Get Davidson down there. We've got another one. Kirsty, with me.
Do you think we're dealing with a serial killer?
Oh, I don't want to, but I'm starting to. I mean, look at all that bump Dr. Wright gave us. If, as according to the super, it's gangbanging, Why would they go to all that trouble to off a rifle?
To make it look like part of a pattern?
Possibly, but there's a clear geographical profile as well. Call me a snob, but I don't see too many sheepskins with classics degrees in North London drugs gangs.
Maybe not.
And if it was gang-related, there'd be a message. But it would be written plainly for everyone to see, not hidden in an ancient language. That's more the type who likes playing games. That's a signature killer.
Was that like the Zachariah Baines case? I couldn't help but see the file on your desk, Gov.
Tell me, Kirsty, is Toby any good in bed?
That's
None of my business, yeah. Just like Zachariah Baines is none of yours.
point taken, Gov. We're here.
Lizzie, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. We only did the last PM yesterday.
Tell me the worst.
I'm going to make a rare exception and stick my neck out with this one. It's the same killer, but with considerable escalation. Come and take a look.
Did that CCTV come in from the council? I lit a firework up their arses last night.
No, still waiting for the last lot, but thank you, sir.
Wait till you see this. In over 30 years on the job, I've hardly ever seen one like this.
Oh my God! Oh, is that all written in blood?
There's approximately 5 litres of blood in the human body. That's 7% of the average person's body weight. 3/4 of that must be on the walls here.
I recognise the what's it called word?
I've counted over 40 times where that's written on these two walls.
Wait till you see this.
Oh. I'm guessing that says Rhadamanthus? Kirsty, I think you better ask Dr. Wright to come down here and have a look at this. The other writings here I don't recognise.
No expense spared on this one. I'll square it with his university.
And warn her she might need some help keeping her breakfast down.
Yes, Gov.
Bloody hell.
Here we have our victim, who I believe to be one Patrick Griffith, property developer late of this manor. Allow me to give you the guided tour of how I think this unfortunate man's terrible final minutes unfolded. Mr. Griffith was probably accosted by his assailant here on the steps. You see the blood spatter there, and several bloody footprints. Now, fortunately for us, this stone would have been difficult and conspicuous to clean, so it was left by our killer.
Evidence without context and all that.
Now, on the doorstep here, our victim probably turned, like so. The assailant then stabbed him in the abdomen at an upward angle. Now, this would have incapacitated, but not killed Mr. Griffith, though he would almost certainly have been dead within 20 minutes. At this point, victim and assailant came into the hallway. Here, you see gravitational blood drops. Then things really got going in here, hence the writing in blood. I would conjecture at this stage that the assailant repeatedly cut the victim to draw blood to write with. He did this writing with some sort of implement. Maybe a paintbrush. We didn't find anything.
I want a handwriting expert to take a look at all this.
It was also here our victim was tortured. As he was dying, this was hammered into his anus with considerable force.
Oh, is that a vegetable?
Yes, a parsnip. Absolutely barbaric. Unfortunately, poor Mr. Griffith's ordeal was not over yet. He was next dragged in here, where this word was etched into his chest.
Scum.
At least there's something here written in the English vernacular.
The final ordeal is peri-mortem, so I will need to conduct further tests in laboratory conditions to establish if these injuries were inflicted before or after death. As you can see, another root vegetable has been hammered into the victim's mouth this time, with such force it tore the esophageal wall. If the victim wasn't already dead, tracheal and esophageal hemorrhage would have killed him soon after. I have rarely been speechless at a crime scene, Lizzie, but the level of suffering that took place in this room leaves me without words. You need to catch this one, and quickly.
Oh, we will. We will. Hello again, Dr. Wright. Thanks for coming back at such short notice.
Oh, happy to help. I was only at the Swiss Cottage campus prepping a lecture.
Did Kirsty warn you? It's really not pretty in there.
She did. After a year of studying the brazen bull torture machine in Athens, I'm quite unshockable.
Oh, trust me, seeing the real thing is quite different. Let's go. Obviously, it goes without saying that everything you see and hear in here is strictly confidential.
Of course. There's metanoia again. Lots of times.
We counted 42 times. I'm Chief Superintendent Wade, by the way. Thank you for helping us.
Okay, so, other than metanoia written extensively on the walls, is that written in blood?
We think so.
A word in your shell, Lizzie.
Yes, sir.
This looks considerably worse than the photos of the last crime scene you showed me. There's this word, orger, quite a few times. And here, too. It means anger or rage.
Another sin?
Yes. And see this bit here? That translates literally as he having been judged. I'm assuming that refers to the victim.
Well, I didn't know what it meant until you told me.
Ooh, look at this. That means pisococriter. It means judge of souls.
Are you seeing any pattern here? It all looks like the ramblings of a deranged mind to me.
There's a reason. Why the Greek messages, otherwise? Why the obsession with judges, particularly focusing on Rhadamanthus? He presided over justice in the underworld, and the Furies were responsible for administering that justice. I think there's a possibility your killer sees himself as Rhadamanthus and the Furies rolled into one. The ultimate justice machine. Could I see the body?
We wouldn't normally do this, but if you think it would help.
Thank you. Oh, there he is. Rhadamanthus, I mean.
As you'll see, there's quite a lot of mutilation. Orally and rectally.
Yes, the mutilation of the mouth, but especially the anus, also has a Greek connection. Raphanioidosis.
What?
It was a punishment in the ancient world, mainly reserved for adulterers. A radish, which was more like the modern-day parsnip, was hammered into the offender's anus. Kirsty, you look really pale. Shall we get some air?
Where are we going, sir?
While we were all at the Chamber of Horrors, DS Gale came up with a lead. Mrs. Harshpreet Singh. She came forward when we did door-to-door in the area around the Demetriou crime scene. Says she saw the bubble with a fare in his taxi a few minutes before the murder, and ANPR as the taxi turning off into the road where his shop is. so I make it kosher.
Did Mrs. Singh recognise this mysterious fare payer?
That's what we're gonna find out now.
You were quite pale in there. I was worried about you.
I really should be getting back to the office.
Sit. I insist. You're no good to your boss if you faint. What's with that DCI
McHugh.
Anyway.
It doesn't seem like there's anyone here.
Shop!
I'm coming. Give me a minute. How can I help you?
You told a DC who came in your shop yesterday afternoon you saw Giorgio Dimitriou's taxi as you were closing up at 9:45 on the night of 2nd of July this year.
That's right, I did.
How can you be sure it was him? There's a lot of dark blue Priuses out there.
I know it was him. He comes in here to buy his Golden Virginia before he goes to work. I see his taxi outside all the time. LS62 RPF. I might be old, but I'm not blind.
Naughty, naughty, Lizzie. And do you mention a passenger?
Yes?
Sure I can't persuade you to have the hard stuff?
Not while I'm on duty.
I'm using my power of citizen's arrest to hold you here until you're full recovered. You can't tell me you get used to seeing stuff like that.
It never stops being horrific. But after a while, it doesn't shock you like it does the first couple of times. The DCI just says you have to go home and shut the door on it when you go off shift.
You really like her, the DCI? Is she secretly your mother? Or your secret lover?
No, don't be silly. She's sort of my mentor. I know people find her a bit odd or old-fashioned when they first meet her, but she's the best there is.
And did you happen to see the passenger Mr. Dimitriou had in the back of his cab?
It was his lawyer.
Lawyer?
Yes.
Did you see his face?
No. But I recognized him from side on. And he always has that funny briefcase.
Do you know his name?
Of course not. My customers don't tell me that.
Then how do you know he's a lawyer?
So, do you have anyone waiting at home for you, Kirsty? To unburden all this horror to?
I really shouldn't be doing this.
Buy some mints on the way back. I've got to lead a seminar later. You're avoiding the question. I suppose you must be trained in counter-interrogation, though.
It's not all as bad as today. In fact, most of my horrors are writing up the Gov's reports. She's a grisly typist.
A suspect declines to answer on the grounds it might incriminate her. Do you have someone waiting at home?
I have my boyfriend, Toby. We've just started living together.
He comes in here too. Less often than George did.
Was he wearing a gown or a wig or something? How do you know he's a lawyer?
No, he works in an office, not a court.
You mean a solicitor?
That's right. I see him going up and down to his office. I think it's down shoot uphill from here. My flat is Glengall Road and I pass it on my way home sometimes.
Sorry, I'm going on now. You don't need to hear about my personal dramas.
Well, sometimes it's easier to tell a stranger. I get that a lot from my students.
But you've just seen all that at the crime scene.
Look, I'm always here if you need a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen. I can't imagine your DCI McWhat's her name being much use at that. You've got my number. Don't be a stranger. I don't spend my whole life reading books or examining crime scenes.
But
we women have got to stick together. And I like you, Kirsty. And don't forget to buy those mints.
Lizzie! What in the name of heck is this?
A newspaper, sir?
I meant this.
Radamanthus.
In here.
Police are hunting a serial killer currently active in London. To date, the self-styled Rhadamanthus killer has claimed 4 victims.
It's Dixon. I'll put him on speakerphone. I'm not taking getting a new arsehole towing me on my own.
Mike, what the fuck is going on over there? Have you seen the Standard?
Yes, sir. Me and Lizzie are just looking at it now.
Well, how the hell did you let it happen? If you've got a leak, you need to stamp on it pronto.
With respect, sir, I think this has come from the killer. We've been working on the growing likelihood we have a serial killer operating on this patch.
Working too bloody slow then.
Sir, again, with respect, we have to tread carefully announcing to the public there's a serial killer active in London. It could cause panic.
Don't patronise me, Lizzie.
Sorry, sir.
Mike, what are you gonna do about this?
I'm gonna give a press conference first thing, try and put a lid on it. Give the public assurances our investigation is going well, the usual.
Good. I expect to see this situation unfucked in the next 12 hours then. If not, heads roll.
Sir, thinking about it, this news tip-off can only be the work of Rhadamanthus. The Standard only prints 1 edition now, which comes out around lunchtime.
And that means their finalised text had already gone to print before we dealt with today's crime scene.
Kirsty, in here. I want you to get onto the Standard and threaten them with high treason if you have to. Get the name of whoever sent this in.
That's our case.
10 out of 10 for observation, DC March.
And here's the next riddle. DCI McHugh, I am in your world, yet outside. I am standing in front of you waving, but you see me not. I'm 4 moves ahead of you, and you couldn't even catch a cold. Attention will be paid.
Didn't bother with the poetry this time.
Oh, I'm starting to think that's not the point of these Greek riddles. Alan, could you come to the super's office for a minute? It's more about the message to me. He's getting angry. He wants to be noticed. And if I'm not much mistaken, that last line is from Arthur Miller.
He's moved to quotes now.
Death of a salesman, the little man against the big lie. Do you see yourself as a latter-day Willy Loman?
You rang, Mom?
Yes, who are the lawyers you mostly deal with round here?
It depends.
Gov, the Standard say it was an anonymous call. They were surprisingly helpful. No number. When called back, it was a payphone. We're tracing it now. Man's voice, though could have been voice changed. They rang and asked for Garfield Murray. He's their in-house crime hack, among other things.
And did he recognise the voice?
I'm still on hold, trying to get through to him now. Oh, hello?
Sorry, Alan, you were saying?
Usually, if it's heavy duty, they bring in a Chancery Lane pinstripe. But there's a few regular briefs. Like Paul Hutton, who you had in to talk about Demetriou.
Tell me about him.
Not a lot to say. He's a grey little man. He's a bottom feeder in legal profession. A bottom what? I mean, he picks up the criminal stuff no one else wants. And everyone who's watched their umpole knows the criminal bar is the lowest rung.
Ma'am, this came for you. Downstairs said you'd want to see it straight away.
Thanks. I hope this isn't what I think it's going to be.
Another brown padded envelope.
A memory stick.
Here, let's see what's on it.
Lizzie. I didn't expect to see you again so soon. We only did the last PM yesterday.
Tell me the worst.
I'm going to make a rare exception and stick my neck out with this one. It's the same killer, but with considerable escalation. Come and take a look.
Bastard was watching us. I didn't see any cameras or computers, though.
Look, it's high up.
Lizzie. I didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Oh, Alan, get this envelope to forensics. My hopes aren't high. But we've got to be lucky soon.
Righto, Mom.
Lizzie. I didn't expect to see you again so soon. We only did the last PM yesterday.
My guess is a light fitting or something.
Pass me the torch, Kirsty. Gov. Oh, I know it's up here somewhere. This is the angle.
Gov, the smoke detector.
And sure enough. Get this photographed and sent over to forensics. We need to find out where it was bought.
Yes, Gov. Looks like an expensive gadget. It could be one of those doorbell cameras.
Probably bought online. And online means a paper trail.
Hello? Okay. Yes. I see. That's just across the street from us.
What is?
The phone box where the call to the Evening Standard was made.
Let's go then.
We'll be over right now.
Do you know what bloody time it is? Yes, 2:30 in the morning, and still bloody hot. Who? He what? Mike Wade gave you this number, did he? As in Detective Chief Superintendent Mike Wade. All right, I'll come and get him. Oh, Dixon said nothing about being Wade's personal taxi service. Who are you? The Greek, the riddles, the newspaper. Are we not getting it quick enough for your liking? You want to be seen, but you don't want to be recognised. Is that it? And then there's the man in the back of Dimitriou's taxi, a solicitor, maybe. Mrs. Singh knows him but can't name him, and there's no clear CCTV. Forensics are coming up completely empty at the crime scenes. Keith Davidson just needs someone or something to match it to. Then there's the camera in the ceiling at Pat Griffith's place, and the call made from just about the last call box in London across the street. Hundreds of dabs on the receiver in the call box, along with every kind of bodily fluid possible, but no usables on the camera. Why are you watching the investigation so closely? Are we too being judged by Rhadamanthus? Oh, give it up, Lizzie. You're not going to solve it tonight. Oh, there he is, stupid git. Now, there you are, sir. Did you get yourself chucked out of there?
No. Baby, let's go and have a drink. I've got a right good bottle of scotch in my desk at the office.
But you've got a press conference in the morning, sir.
So, I'll sleep at the office. And for tonight, call me Mike.
Right, sir. Mike.
Here we go. Home, James. I hear gin is more your speed, but for tonight, scotch will have to do.
Thank you, sir. Have you thought about what you're going to say to the press in the morning?
Haven't had to. Dixon has written a script for me, and woe betide if I don't follow it.
I see. It might help, at least to calm the public's mind.
Bollocks. After tomorrow, it'll be a circus, and every journo will be onto his or her tame copper for information. Or worse, Rada What's-His-Tits will be leading a press conference all of his own. How has he managed to stay so far ahead all the time? Do you think he's had inside help?
No, sir. I think he's been very clever. I think he knows there's nothing to tie the victims together but himself. And when we do pan it all out, they'll turn out to be chance meetings. It's something in his mind, not the victims, that's driving him.
Why do these nutcases have to be such damn smartasses? Your villain who kills to rub, or in the heat of an argument, that I can understand. But all this Greek and bollocks.
Mythology, sir. It's Greek mythology.
It's bollocks. Anyway, I hear you're not exactly sitting so pretty yourself for this Baines case. You had a chance to go over the case files yet?
Oh, AC Dixon has couriered it over. Expedited. I've had a read, but after 18 years, I don't remember that much. I was a newly made-up detective sergeant who joined the investigation very late in the day.
How did you make with the IOPC?
Well, fine, because I couldn't really tell them anything. Some prissy, mealy-mouthed DCI Tate kept going on about D.I. Burrell being institutionally racist, and that in the DI's estimation, Zachariah Baines's face fitted the frame because he was black and had previous.
And did it?
Not that I was aware of. But it was a different time. In 2006, we weren't all attuned to the slightest hints of the bogeymen, bogey people, race and sex and sexuality.
You know, when I was a lad, my dad called the radio a tranny.
I feel like I'm being asked to chuck D.I. Burrell under a bus, or face being chucked out, myself.
You must remember something, though. Was there never a passing comment or something that sounded off?
What did off sound like? I forget. I look at myself back then, Mike, and I hardly recognise myself. All career and polished buttons, desperate to make rank, and do anything to get away from the middle-class suburban humdrum that I'd come from. I'm not sure I'd trust me then not to have missed a parade passing by if it didn't fit with our evidence. What made you join the force, Mike? Good night, sir.
Who's there? I know someone's there. Get out while you've got the chance. Yeah? I've got a knife. Don't think I won't use it. Nothing? You got cold feet, have you? Very smart.
What goes around comes around, Mrs. Khan.
This was an Evcall Entertainment Grey Slate Audio original production, featuring the voice talent of Michelle Campbell-Jones, Kimberly Cochran, Will Harrison Wallace, Mitch Howell, Devia Meir, Georgie Montgomery, and Andre Rethig. Written and co-produced by Richard Bates. Directed and produced by Simon James Collier. Original music by Zachary Elliott Hatton. Soundscape design by Archie Lyon Maris.